Hello folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be planting some Jimmy Dardells, some Emerald Giants, and some jalapenos. And I got some herbs I'm going to be planting also. Let's start off with our Jimmy Dardells. Then we're going to do our Emerald Giants. Ooh, 2020. I don't know about that. 2021. Alright, let's see. We'll go heavy on the seeds on this. Oh, no seeds in 2020. Alright folks, a little change in plans. Apparently I was out of seeds of the Emerald Giants, so I'm going to be planting the Ozark Giants. Well, she wrote 2 to a cell. Oh, one more. So our Ozark Giants and our Jimmy Dardells. Move them out of the way. And we're going to be doing our jalapenos. Leave them out because I got to order more of them for next year. Well, I'll probably save seeds from them. And that's our jalapenos. Gonna add some water. We'll give that about an hour, half hour to an hour. Once that wicks up, we'll move that to the light table and then start our herbs. Okay. SQWIB most of that up. We'll move that to our light table. Alright, now we're going to plant cilantro, some dill, basil, and some parsley. My parsley will probably come back. It's on the deck. It usually comes back for a few years. I think they're biennial. These seeds are tiny. Okay, we'll mark our parsley. Now we're going to do our basil. Get that out of there so we don't accidentally get seeds in there. I think these are tiny too. I think my seedling mix is working out pretty good. Get our basil marked. Do a cilantro. Mark that. Now we're going to do our dill. Mark our dill. Get some water in here. And we will let that wick up for about a half hour to an hour. And then we'll move that to the light table as well. Alright, let's see how we made out here. They seem to be wicked up pretty well. We're going to move them to the light table. Alright folks, that's going to wrap it up for our herbs and our sweet peppers. And I do plant the jalapenos with the sweet peppers because they sprout so much quicker than the other hots. Ooh, looky what we have here. Alright folks, we have 2 more Vego beds to put together. The weather's really crappy outside, so I'm going to put these together in here, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get one of these installed. I still have to dig out a lot of the soil and remove the wood and get rid of the wood. Okay, from the directions, what I understand is that these 17-inch beds, since it's a 3x5, it won't have support brace. So I have the 6-way kit, there are no bracing rods. 4 corners and 6 sides. And remember, when you do these things, the corners got to go on the outside. So the first thing is we're going to separate on the hardware. Oh, I'm going to sit down here and go. You're going to have to get out of the way though, okay? You're going to have to get out of the way. No, you got to move. So we're going to overlap each one. The top 2, you use the acorn nuts. The stainless steel screws are really hard to maneuver in your fingertips. They're so smooth. Anything under the 32-inch beds are nice to like sit down and work with like this, because you can put your arm over them and reach around. The 32-inch ones are a little tougher. You don't want to make these tight, you just want to finger tighten everything. What is that? It's nice that the nuts they're flanged, so you don't have to worry about washers. Makes a difference. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, that's side number 2. I did this upside down, so it's reverse to that. I don't know if that helps with stability or not, but that's the way I did it. It's number 4. All right, our ends are done. Now we're gonna put our sides on. This configuration is gonna be a 3.5 by 5. Remember, these go on the outside. Now we gotta do the other side. Remember, on the outside. Okay, it's all assembled. Now we're just gonna have to pull the film off, and then we will tighten up all the screws. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take all this plastic, and I'll throw it in the bottom of the bed and cover it with dirt. So I'm recycling it. It'll go in there, and I'll just cover it with soil. Come on. I strongly suggest getting a 10mm and a little socket drive and a Phillips. It makes everything so much easier. So I'll show you how I do this. Put my finger on the screw, and that's it. Okay, they are all done. And then the edging, there's a couple little tricks I like to do with the edging. Of course, I want the seam in the back if you have that option. And I'll show you another thing why I like these beds. And I'll show you with my phone. They have a pretty good overlap, which really adds to a lot of stability. And the tops are rolled metal. The only problems are these edges, which will be covered with our edging. Okay, I like to put these on at room temperature and have the seam in the back. You want to stretch this out. Not stretch it out, you want to pull it, you don't want to stretch it. You want to put these on relaxed. You don't want to stretch these because they will shrink in the heat. So don't pull on it like this. Then when you get to a seam, work it around the seam like this. Come up to that seam. Try to work around the seam. Another seam. Sometimes you might have to pinch them in. Well, this is going to be the hard part. If you cut it now and match it up and it shrinks, it'll probably shrink a ½ inch. So what you do is you do an overlap, and it's tough, but leave it there for the whole season. Leave it for a season in the sun. We're just going to leave it like that. And then at the end of a growing season, we can cut it if we want, and we're still going to overlap it though. And a little bit more. Just like that. Now we got a 2 foot by 8 foot by 32 incher to do. I'm not going to film that. You guys have seen that before. I'll just pop up a couple little pictures when it's done. Okay, the other bed's done. It's 2 foot by 8. You see me do that, and I built 4 of them last year. All right, let me get this outside. Okay. Look. Alright, this one is going to go. I can dig all this out, rip all this out, take this brick out, this brick out, and this brick out, and put that piece there, so it should fit. And that one is going to be the 2 by 8. If ever sun ever comes up and dries everything out, be able to get some work out here done. Alright, we got one more bed to go. Alright, let's check our plants. See, we got some basil is starting to come up. I think there's some parsley there. Nothing from the Jimmy Dardells and nothing from the jalapenos or the Ozark Giants. Nothing from the cilantro or the dill. Our bok choy is coming along nicely. Bok choy, red habaneros. We got serranos and cayenne. Here, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Bring it over here so you can see it. In my video last month, I was talking about how I like the fan. It helps with thigmomorphogenesis, and also it keeps the plants from damping off the bacteria. Well, I have one here. I'll show you. Try to get a close-up of it. You See that? So I got some bacteria there, and this one is damping off. You see that stem? Like it's thinner compared to these stems. The bacteria does that. So you don't want to keep the top too wet. Try to zoom in a little bit for you. See that? That will not make it. So I have 4 Hungarian wax. I'm going to have to separate these. I needed 6, but 4 should be fine. Oh well. Alright folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be installing this Vego bed up on the hill, and the weather's not cooperating. It's just, everything is just so wet, so I won't be out here long. So I'll show you what I got going on. So I'm going to be clearing out this area and putting this bed in here. Let's hope it ain't frozen. Let's clip that stuff out of the way. Alright, now I gotta do some measuring and see what I need to do. I have a tree in here I'm half tempted to give it to Nick. It's a Russian hardy pomegranate. Hasn't really done anything the last 5 years, so I don't know what I want to do with it. That's it over there. And I might keep it in the back. And then here I think I'm going to plant a bay laurel. It's okay for this zone. So I have to measure. So I'm going to have to come out so far, and I don't want it that low, so I might build that step back up. Alright, that should work. What's going on? Why are you not lighting up? Okay, if I'm gonna do it right. Seventeen and a half. Okay, my calculations are off a bit. It would overhang this by 4 inches. I had to move the AC back 4 inches, and I got to cut that concrete pad. That'll be fun. GoPro shut the fuck off again. It's in place. Time for a break. Don't get the 11, man. I'm telling you, don't get it. Stick with the 9. Alright folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be planting some tomatoes. I got my big beefs that I always plant. We got some Romas we're going to be planting, making some sun-dried tomatoes. And these were free seeds called Pink Fang. They're also a paste tomato. I'm going to try some of these too. Still waiting for my eggplant and pepper seeds. So I got another batch of soil mixed up. I should say potting mix. Not a soil. If you folks saw earlier in this video when I was tearing out the wooden raised beds and installing the new Vego beds, that day was hell. The GoPro, it just kept shutting off. I kept having problems with it. I didn't know what was going on. Finally, I was messing around with it in the workshop. I was building a fire storage rack and the GoPro just kept these bands kept showing up. I would hit the record button and all of a sudden all these bands would show up. So I was going to throw in the towel. I was just going to give up and say, I'm done. I can't do this no more. It's just messing with the camera all the time. I did bite the bullet. I'm going to give this one more shot. I ordered the GoPro 13. If I have any more camera issues, I'm going to be done with all this. So I don't know if this is my last shot. And if the 13 don't work out, if the 13 was anything like the 11, I'm done with all this. I'm just going to give up. So hopefully that don't happen, because I really do like sharing my garden with you folks and my camping trips and some odds and ends and my cooking and different things. I really enjoy it, but when it gets to the point where I don't enjoy it anymore, I'm just going to stop. I don't want to keep bitching, but I just want you guys to know where I'm coming from. If for some reason you don't see any videos down the road and I just fall off the face of the planet, I'm this close to saying, nah, that's it. Well, yeah, it's like when you stop enjoying something, it's not worth it anymore. And like I said, I still enjoy doing this. I just keep fighting everything. This breaks, that breaks. I just broke my brand new light last night on the camera. It's just one thing after another. I'm sure a lot of other creators out there feel the same way. I might just go a little more simpler. It's just, like I said, I really enjoy doing this, and I really like sharing this with you folks. So, enough of my whining. Let's get back to planning. And hopefully, after the new camera comes in, I get things sorted, I'll be in a better place and continue to do this. Alright, let's see what we got. What do you say? So we got the big beefs, we got the Romas, the Martino's Romas, and we got these new pink flame pastes that came in from Baker's Creek. They were free seeds. So we're going to plant 6 of each. I'm probably only going to grow like 9 tomatoes out of the 18. Space is limited. So let's get these seeds in and we'll check on our other seeds. Alright, we will start with our big beefs. We only have 6 seeds or so in there. We put 1 in each cell. Hopefully that works. Actually, they were 2024 seeds. Did I even open these? Let's not take a chance. Let's put 1 from 2025 and 1 from 2024. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to take a chance. So if these 2024 seeds sprout, then I won't order seeds next year. I'll know I'll get another year out of the 2025s for 2027's year. Okay, so that's the big beef. Here we go, big beef. Now we're going to do the Martino's Roma. Alright, these are our Martina Romas. I like planting the seeds spaced slightly apart in the same cell, like at least a 1/4 inch or even a 1/2 inch, because because I gotta stop saying because if I have a problem with, say, damping off or I lose a couple seedlings, I like to be able to break them apart and keep both plants. I'll probably show you that in a little bit. I'm going to pull out a couple trays and show you what I need to do, because I think my Hungarian hot wax, I had one damp off, a couple cells didn't come up, and I had 2 doubles, which I'm going to separate, then I'll get 4. I'll show you guys that in a bit. So let's get this pink fang tomato paste done. It's amazing. It's amazing how these tiny little seeds will grow into seedlings, isn't it? Like, they don't even look like seeds. They just, look at that. Can you see that? And that is our pink fang paste. Then when I'm done with my seeds, I go back in my little seed box. And if I want to plant again, I'll write reorder on them, so I know when I pull them out, it's time to reorder. I'm not planting my Amadeus this year. I'm just doing all black beauties. So I'll take this, and this will go in the refrigerator. Alright, we'll add some water and let these trays wick up the water. We'll set them aside, and I'll pull out the Hungarian wax to show you what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to separate these two. I don't know if that's going to take. We'll see. Okay. So you can see we got some dill coming up. Nothing from the cilantro. It's some more bok choy. And here's my red habaneros. Maybe I could separate a couple of these too. Sometimes I luck out. You never know. This won't damage the other one. We'll let that go a little bit longer before I separate them. And then we have our cayenne. We can separate that one's far enough away. See how it came out? You got some root on there. Probably separate this one. Yeah, you got some nice roots on there. That's probably savable. It's funny how some of this is drying out already. I gotta keep an eye on that, man. We'll let the serranos go. Alright folks, I'll show you what the bed looks like when I get down to the wood part. This was a Hugelkultur bed. I'll post some images up of what I actually put in this bed, and I'll show you what's going on right now. Like I said, I think I built these beds in 2017. Still in pretty good shape, I believe, but we'll see. This was a big problem. I had a huge tree in that corner. Go ahead.
So you literally end up on the bottom.
It had a stump. I had to build around it. I'll put pictures of that up as well. Down pretty far. I haven't hit any wood yet. Didn't think this stump would be a problem 7 years later.
It's been a while since I've used a good shovel.
It was over 60 feet tall.
Really?
We cut it and we dropped it between the pond and my neighbor's sidewalk.
That one?
Yep.
Jeez.
It was huge.
That's crazy.
I don't know how much of my GoPro footage is showing up, so I'm filming a little bit on my camera. I couldn't get that stump all the way out. I got it down about 12 inches, me and Mike, and I'll show you what was in there and what's left. That's everything that's left. That's it. Out of all that wood I put in 7 years ago. So I would say even big logs in my zone will last 7 to 10 years max before it's nothing. All right, that's what I got so far. I'm not going to be putting a bunch of logs in. I don't have a whole lot, but I'm going to try getting a lot of my red maple tree in that I cut down. Down. Okay, got all my wood in, and these are shredded pizza boxes, and I had a chainsaw accident